Hello, and I welcome you back to Code with Ibra once again. Over here, we are going to look at how we will build a table in HTML CSS. So you can see that our table has a search, and this is where we get to search, and also we can see the total, that is what, 5, and then this is the title of the table, right? So I'm going to teach you step by step how you can build this in HTML CSS. And over here there's no JavaScript, so this 5 was hard coded. Everything here is hard coded, and when we get to JavaScript we will look at how we add everything, make this particular table responsive. And one cool thing about this is the table is responsive on all devices. Okay, so you can see that when I change the view, you can see that we have the scroll bar here indicating that, okay, so even if the content doesn't fit the screen, we can still use this scroll within a table to view the other part of the content. So thank you so much, and let's meet in the next section where we get to build everything step by step. Okay, so over here you can see that I have the HTML and also the CSS file sitting here, and then opening the HTML you can see I have the startup. Okay, so it's simply a HTML template with the linking, okay, with the star linking. So we've linked the star and also the title, not anymore. All right, only this thing. And also you can see that we have the star sitting here. So to begin, let's create our container. The container is where the table will sit. So container. Now after the container, we also have to create a table wrapper. So this is the wrapper of the table. Okay, this is what wraps the table. And so if we look at the original thing, you can see that let me open the original one. So looking at the original one, you can see that I have it's in sections. Okay, so this is the table header where we have the title and also the search. They are the table header, and then where we have the total and also the number of columns, that is the footer. So the actual table is what we call the table body. Okay, the table body. So from there, okay, let me just come here. So we have the table wrapper. Okay, so the table wrapper is where the table header, the footer, and then the body sits. So first thing first, let me create the table header. This is where the title and also the search will be. So let me say table search, sorry, table title. So the table title is supposed to be a P, which is paragraph. So P, we call this one available software. And then from there we also have the form. So that is input, and this input is what is a search. Okay, it's a search, so that is it. And then I'll give it some placeholder like search name. Okay, search name. So you can see this is what now we have the title, and also we have the form. That is it. So let's continue. Now that we have the table header ready, we have to also go to the table footer, sorry, the table body. That will come the next. So the table body will be here, and then the table body, that is where we have the table, the actual table itself. So the table, then the table head, the table R. So quickly let me copy and paste the table headings. I'll paste it over here. This is the table heading. So we have the name, the version, company, the description, and then the date. Okay, so watch this carefully. This particular one, I've given it a class of what? Date. Okay, yes, we've given it a class of date, and we will look at why we did this. So from there, after that we are done with the table head, the next thing is we need to define the table body. So to define the table body, you start with T body and then TR. That is the first row. Okay, so quickly let me copy 2 rows and then let me paste them here. Okay, so I'll copy 2 rows and then I'll paste them here. So 2 rows. All right, so this is the first row. You can see that the first the name for the first row is Avast, and then this is the version of the software, the company, and also you can see that the last one, okay, the date, we have also given it a class called date. So that means the heading date and then the data of date, they all have the class called date. Okay, so we know why we will be using it. That is why we have given this particular class. And then this is the second one. So let's go to the browser and look at what we have so far. So far this is what we have, and it is not really looking good, but with the help of CSS, everything is going to look perfect. All right, very good. So now let us also continue on. Let me continue on. Okay, so now you can see that we have the T body here, and they are all inside the the table body. So now that we have the header, we have the body, it's left with the last thing, that is the table footer. So the table footer is just like the table header. We will have a P of the table title, and the title will be total. Okay, and then from there, let me simply copy this and paste it. Okay, and then I'll call this one the total of 2. At the moment we have 2, so when we increase it, we will change it. All right, that is it. So we come back here, and then we see that this is the footer, that is the total 2, and also this is the header, that is the title of the table and the search. Okay, we have the table headings and then the table data. Everything is looking messy already, but we will look at how we will fix it. So quickly, I'll head over to the CSS. We'll head over to the CSS, and mind you, everything is sitting inside the container, and then all the header, the footer, the body, they are also inside the table header, right? That is it. So let me do some closing so you can see that this is what we have. All right, so when we come to the CSS, you can see that already there are some couple of styles that I've already defined. You can see that I have a universal selector which selects all the elements, and these are the style that we've given to that. We can also see that the body have this font family, then the background, and also the font size. So these are the only thing that we have already. Let us now start with the actual thing. So the actual thing is we will start with the container. Okay, so we will start with the container, starting with the container. Okay, starting with the container. So with the container, I'll give it a max width of 750 pixels. Now, one thing about the max width is, you see, max width is responsive. What it means is, by default, it will give the width up to 750 pixels. So it means that it can have the highest 750 will be the highest width, and all those devices with less than 750 width will have 100% display of it, so it will be fitting the screen without the need to use media queries, right? As we progress, I will show you the differences. All right, so that is it. And then we have to give it a margin of auto. This margin of auto will be responsible for setting the content, setting the container at the center of the screen. And then I'll also give it a padding of 10 pixels all round. You know padding already. Now this is what we have. No changes really, but yes, everything is ongoing. So what I will do next is I will come back to the container and then target the table wrapper. So the table wrapper, what I will do is I'll give the table wrapper a margin of top and bottom of 10 pixels. When I do that, I also go ahead and then give it a background of white. So a background of white. When I'm done, I'll also go forward and then give it a border radius of 3 pixels. So border radius of 3 pixels. Let's look at what we have. Very good. Look at now what we have. It is looking good already, right? Yes. So under normal circumstance, it should be small, but because I want us to see it clearly, that is why I've zoomed it. Okay, so this is it. Now what I want us to do is I want us to continue with the rest, and that will be the table heading and also the table footer. Okay, so come back to this one, and then so with the table header and the table footer, I will select them together because they all have they will have they will have similar styling. So table footer, table header, I'll give it a display of flex. Now when we give it a display of flex, you can see that now the title and then the search is in line, but I want this search to come to this particular side. Okay, we want it to come to this particular side, and to do that we use the property called justify content. So you can only use justify content when you have used the display flex. So justify content is what? Space between, so that we will have some spaces between them, right? We have some space between them. And then let us add one last thing, that is called align item center, to make it center. So align items center. This will center the whole thing. Okay, we'll make them sit on the same line. All right, so with that we have to also make sure, you can see from here that we have given the style to the table header. It's left with a table footer. Okay, so the table footer, it takes exactly as this one. So instead of coming to create a whole another new style, we just add a comma, and then we say that table footer. So table footer and table header, they will all take over the style. This same style we apply to them. So now you can see that they are all yes. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. All right, and then we are not done. You can see that the table is, chalked at one particular side. We have a whole bunch of space here, so we want to force our table to take over this particular space. Okay, so in order for us to do that, what we have to do is we have to go to the code editor and then target the table. All right, so the table is inside the table body. Let me first select the table body, because I'll come back to that. Table body, and then from there I'll come back to select the table. Okay, let me select the table itself. So when I select the table itself, I have to give it a width of 100%, and giving a width of 100% should do it. Okay, so now you can see that our table is now spanning to the end of the screen. It is taking everything. Okay, and one thing that I want you to also look at is, you can see that the name, okay, and then the actual data is not on the same line. So it's like the name is moving to the right, and then the name of the table data is at the left side. That is the same here. So we want to correct this. We can correct this by simply specifying and telling the table that we want everything to be aligned to the left. So setting the align to the left will make sure that, yes, exactly, this is what you are seeing. Okay, but then you can see that of course the search has its end here, and then the total also has its, it is also hitting the edge of the container, but then the date is not coming to this particular side. But previously, you see that when we got here, we gave a class called date to the table heading, and also to the table body we gave a class called date to all the dates. Okay, so this is where it will be applicable. Now what we have to do is we have to select the date. We select the date, and then we tell the date that, okay, so as for the date, we want to give it a text align of right. That means everything will align to the right at the table side. Very good, very good. So this is exactly what you are seeing. This is what we want. Now if we look at the original one, you can see that yes, the table, the date, they are all at the right side, okay, together with the total. So very good. This is what we are going to achieve. So now let us now continue with the rest. What now I want to focus is, I want to now style the title and also give some styling to the search, right? The search. So let me go to the code editor, and then quickly I'll come back to the top here. Now for the styling, you can put it anywhere, but I just want it to follow. Okay, so let me select the table. Have we already selected a table title? Okay, no. So let me say table title. So table title is simply this one. You can see that we have table title here, table title. So the available software, That is what we are selecting. And also we can see that when we come to the footer, we have the table title also here. So these are the elements that we are selecting. So quickly, let me paste the styling. I'll just give it a text transform of capitalize, a font weight of bold, and also the font size of 18 pixels. We go back and then you can see that our styling has changed. Okay, this is now bold, and also we can see that we have some few changes as well as here and also here. Okay, but that is not only what I want to do. Let me also start with the input. So we give some styling to the search. So we come to the code editor and then we select the table. So table header, and then input. So what we mean is table header input is the container, and inside the container we have a child element called input. So this is what I mean. So we have the table header. Inside the table header there is an input here. So the input is simply this particular guy here. All right, this is what we are simply doing here. So I will simply copy the code. Since I don't want the tutorials to take a lot of time, I'll simply copy the code and then paste it here. So we have the border solid, and then light gray, the border radius, outline, border padding, and then transition. Okay, so before we continue on, if you are really learning something, consider subscribing, give us a like, and also your comment, so that YouTube can recommend our videos to others who are also looking for help. All right, and try as much as possible to also subscribe. This is what really keeps us motivated to always bring new content. All right, thank you so much. Let's continue. So now that we have given a start to the input, let us go and then look at now what we have. Yes, so look at what we have. You see that the input has now changed and it's looking better now. Right, okay, so let us now continue also. So continue, what we have to do is we have to make sure that when we click on the input, when it is focused, we can see that the background should change. Rather, the background should change, the border color, sorry, should change. So to do that, we have to come and then we say that, okay, so the table header input, when the input is focused, we want the border color to change to this pink tint. So that is it. When we focus, you can see that the color will change. Now because I'm doing video, you will not see the color clearly, but if you are following along, you will see the color change. That is it. So let's continue on. Now there's one thing we want to do with the body. Now we will come back to this particular table body, this wrapper, but let's now look at other ones. We will come to this one later. So I want to add one property called border collapse, and then set it to collapse on the body. Okay, so I will explain later why we need this one. So from there we have to give so let me do a copy paste. So the table heading, the th, which is this particular guy here, and then also the td, that is what we have selected here. We are giving all of them a padding of 20 pixels. So now you can see that we have some free spacing in between. Okay, there are some spaces in between. The table is gradually looking very fine. Okay, all right, let's move on. Okay, so I've realized something that we need to change. So you can see that the table body is at this particular side, but the title and then the footer are not adhering to the alignment. So what we can do is we can simply come back here to change things up. So that where we selected the table header and then the footer, this particular side, we give it a padding of 20 pixels. So padding of 20 pixels will solve this error. Okay, will solve this issue. So gradually you see that the table is on its way of becoming nice, becoming good. Okay, so that is it. Now let's continue and let's add some other things. All right, so I come back to the code editor. So what I want to do now is I want to select the table heading, the table head. So the table head. Okay, so the T head, what we can see is when you come to the original one, you can see that the table header has some background. There's some background here. So that is what we want to do now. So I come here and then I simply paste this one. So you can see that the background is color, has this color. We've given it padding of this, and then the font size of 13 pixels. Going back, you can see that this is what we have specified. Okay, this is what we have specified, the background and also the font size. That is it. And then that is not the only thing. We also have to go ahead and do other things as well. So you can see that over here there's like a line. There's a line here. Okay, each column has like a line. So that is what we will do here, a line, this line, talking about this particular line. So to do that, we simply have to come to the code editor and then select, let me quickly paste so that we move faster. So table body tr, this is simply this one. We are targeting the all the TRs, the rows of the table data, of the T body, sorry. So we've given it a border button, and then yeah, this color, and then the proper, yeah. So okay, now you can see that over here we now have the border button sitting here. Okay, so it is looking just like this one, but we need some few adjustments. Okay, we need some few adjustments. So let me explain something to you. You see that over here, the body, the table, we added border collapse and we set it to collapse. So imagine if I comment this one out, look at what happened here. You can see that when I comment that one out, our border button is not showing, and also the table is still having some, some set of like divisions. Okay, so if you want to get rid of the default styling the table comes with, that is the border the table comes with, then you use the border collapse. When you use it, it will just take out the default styling, and then you get to specify your own style. All right, that is it. So that is not the only thing. We have to continue, but you can see that when you come to the original, it's like the even ones have different color, and then the odd ones also have different color. That is what I'm going to show you in the next that's the next thing. Let me head to the code editor and then quickly let me paste it. So it is simple. So you can see that table body tr. So we are talking about the tr, that is the tr in the t bodies. Okay, then we use the nth child even. So nth child even simply means select all the the children that the even numbers 2, 4, 6. So yeah, that is what this will simply do. So you can see that now the even ones will have this particular color. Look at the color. We specify this for the even ones. So let me make it red so that we can know. So red. Okay, now you can see that. So this one is even. Okay, this was 1. 1 is not an even number. 2 is an even number. Okay, so 3 will not be even number. 4 will be even number, in that order, right? So this is what simply this thing is doing. And then you can see that over here, when it is even, we will give it a background of this. When it is not even too, we will simply give it a background of what? Of white. That is the odd. Okay, so if you want to select the even, the children in an even number, you have to just use the nth child, then into bracket you specify even. If you want the odd ones to, you simply use the odd, that is the odd. Okay, and with that your table get to look good. Now I want to do a copy. Let me copy the full table, this thing, the table rules. Let me copy and paste them. Okay, so yeah, I'll paste them here. Yes, so I have pasted everything here, and then let me change it to 5 because now it has now been 5. It's looking just like the original. Okay, this is the one that we are doing. It's looking just like the original, and this is the original one, but this one I have zoomed it in so that we can see it clearly, right? So yes, this is now what you are seeing. So at the moment we are done with the table and it's looking good already. This is the name, the company, the description, the date, and also the total, right? Yes, that is it. So if you want to include any other thing here as a footer, what you have to do is you simply have to come to the table footer. Okay, the table footer, and then you specify everything here. Now by default, the table come with the T foot. Okay, the T foot, that is where you get to specify the footer. But then when you use that, as for me, I want more control over my tables. Okay, that is why I go by this predefined way, a custom defined way, and this is to me the best way of defining your own table with your custom styling. So I have the footer here, and then also the header together with the search. Right, very good. Now you can see I told you that over here we will come back to this particular thing here, which is the T body, the table body, the wrapper for the table body, this particular guy. That is what I'm talking about. So you can see that now we are done with our table. Okay, but of course the table will not be responsive. So you know that this table is not responsive. Now over here the container is responsive, but you can see that the table is spanning to the end, which is not really good. This is not fine, and it's not what we want. Okay, so for us to fix this, we need to use the overflow property, because over here you can see that the child is overflowing or overlapping its parent. That is very bad. Okay, so to fix this, what we have to do is we simply need to specify just one line, overflow, and then we set it to auto. So setting the overflow of auto to the container of the table, not the table itself, but the table body, the container of the table. Doing that alone will make the table responsive. So this, our table is responsive on our screen. And in case your device is too small, you have this scroll here that you can just scroll to look at the other section of the screen. All right, and yeah, that is it. So thank you so much for watching. I'll ask you to subscribe to the channel so that in the near future I can be bringing you more available, more explained content. Okay, more easy tutorials for you to follow. Thank you so much once again, and I will ask you to subscribe. Kindly give me your comment. Let me know what you think, if it has helped you, if there was any recommendation to get to put that in the description, and also give me a like so that I can see that, okay, so I can see that my video indeed helped someone. All right, thank you so much. Share with your friends, and we will meet in the next lecture. Bye bye.